Hello and welcome. We've got a Hiwatt Trinity and Trinity 100 watt. Now this amp's been in before, about a year or so ago. The customer said that he'd actually been running this amp on the wrong impedance on the back and started having problems with it. There's no treble on it. It just sounds pretty poor, so we need to check. I don't think that's damaged the output transformer. It's possible, I suppose, but it's very rare. I've certainly never seen it. Normally they either just go open or whatever if you're constantly using them on the wrong impedance. But there's a first for everything, isn't there? So we'll have a look inside, switch it on, and we've got the power on there. Flick the standby in. So we've got a very unpleasant hum there, and this amp doesn't appear to be very loud either, given this is 100 watt, and it seems to be lacking some power somewhere. Let's plug in a guitar. Let's grab a guitar and have a listen. Now this amp has got this strange push-pull overdrive where when you push it in it gets louder. You pull it out onto this distortion and it's pretty much quieter. Now the other thing with this amp is there's no way to change the channels without having the foot switch in the back. So we need to go and I think the foot switch came with it, so we need to get that plugged in, don't we? There we go. One foot switch. Let's plug him in the back. Foot switch. There we go. there's certainly not much wrong with that transformer, that's for sure. So I switched this amp on earlier and it sounded awful, like the bias had failed on it. It was cold, like the bias had gone really cold on it. But it seems to have plenty of life in there, so it looks like we're looking for something intermittent on this amp. So I think what we'll do is we'll get it out the case and have a look. Right, I've got this Hiwatt running, got it out the case, and I found a few problems with these preamp tubes. The others seem to be right, so it's 2 and 3 that seem. So I'll have a look at those. Maybe I'm rather hoping that the sockets are. We just lean in, because if it's the sockets that are dry jointed, I've got to take the board out because they're soldered on the other side of the board. But we'll have the tubes out first and just clean the sockets and check that. And I think that's what the problem is on this amp. There don't seem to be anything else wrong. Right, so this one is now okay. This one, and if we move the shroud, I think that might be a case of double divergence and the board's got to come out. So there's a problem. But this one's fine now. Just some dirt in that one. So we've got that one sorted. Right, so these tube sockets are the problem. We've got this board out now, and you can see that that's the socket that came out, and they're actually soldered from the side. So rather than risk burning up the tracks trying to get the solder off and get the solder sucker under there, what I've done is I've snipped the pins off them and then cleaned the socket up after. It's a much sensible way of doing it, rather than just trying to wedge the iron under there and you're just burning these traces. So I just clip them with these thin pliers here, clip them off, and then just suck all the pins out and clean all the solder off. Just needs a bit more cleaning up, that does. But I think we're going to change all of these while we're in here, because none of them look sparkling. It's just the constant heat cycle that these sockets have. They've been in here a long time. 1989 this amp was made, so you know, you're talking what, 89, 30 odd years they've been in here. 35, push 35 years. So these tube sockets, they're just old, they need to come out. So I've had to order those. It's quite difficult to get these with the shroud on, the shield on there. You can get them with normal just pin, you know, a chassis mount, but PC board mount, they're quite difficult to get. So I've ordered some of those, and we've got to wait for those to come now before we can go any further on this. Right, I've got all the sockets out. I've cleaned the flux off, or the solder off, and whatever. Now these sockets that we've got here, which came out, which I've cut the pins off because it was easier than trying to solder them out and destroying all the traces. They're a weird bit of a socket, these. So the ground, this metal base is on this, is soldered to this ground bus that we've got here. And these are the sockets, these are the only things really that I could find to go in this. Now the other problem is the holes on here are too small for these. These are 1.6 mil, the pins on here. So I've had to drill these holes out, and because it's weird again how these are mounted on top like that. So I've had to drill out the holes for these to fit, which is what we're doing now. I've drilled one out and I've used a 1.5 mil bit, and rather than drill them out to 2, I'm kind of tempted to persevere with the 1.5 to get that 0.1 of a mil to get these to fit in, so we get a nice tight fit. Right, I've got one in. I've had to drill them to 2 mil. It's worked out okay. I was just going to keep trying to widen the holes to 1.6, just going to break the tracks. So I've just drilled through 2 mil, soldered that in. It's perfect. I've had the board in. I've checked to see that I put a tube in it, and I just soldered a couple of pins to start off with to make sure, because we have to make sure they're going to fit and we're going to be able to get the shields on. All works fine, no problems. So all we're going to do now with these, and I know they look a bit odd because they've got the tabs on for the bolts, but it's all we could get. So what we're going to do now is this ground bus, I'm just going to solder that on to where the bolt went through there. Just solder those on there all the way across, and that will be a winner. Right, I'll drill the other holes up to 2 mil, and then we'll pop the other 5 in, solder them up, and get this bus soldered, and we should be done with this, hopefully. If there's no more problems with it, we'll know when we get when we fire it up. If that's cured the problems, then it's good to go, this one. I've got them all in. A bit awkward, but we're there with it. Now this ground bus rail, there's no way on this planet I could get the solder to take to these tube sockets. I've filed them and all sorts. So what I've done is I've wrapped some 18 gauge wire around them, squeezed it tight, and then just soldered that, and that seems to have held it in place okay. It's the only thing I could do really. I just couldn't get this. I don't know why the solder won't take to that. Must be the metal, I don't know, but just wouldn't have it. So what we're going to do now is just check that everything seems to be connected. So how we do this is I'm going to put onto the pin of the tube, and then we're going to go to the next connection on the track. Yep, and then go round them all, make sure we have got a connection. Yep. There. Yep. Yep. That one doesn't have a connection, so that's just well, of course it's got to have. Oh, hang on. Got to have a connection. There's no connections on a 12AX7, so where's that connecting to? Oh, of course they're connected together. Dirt's pins 4 and 5. Lemon. Getting late again, and I'm not thinking straight. I'm in dummy mode. Where's that one going? Pin 6, 4, 5, 6, pin 7. That's a grid. Is that right? Oh, it's a grid. Grid anyway. Or is it a cathode? I think they're connected together, you know. They are, those cathodes are connected together. There's a cathode. That goes to... Not sure where that goes. Through there and up there, that one. Yep. And that one goes there. Yep. Right. I'm not going to do the other 4 on film, but yeah, that one checks out okay. Right, so it's all finished. Got all the 2 sockets in, the new shields on there. And remember, it had that hum on it when we first plugged it in. That's now gone. You can hear the amp silent, even we turn the master full up. So we'll give it a test. Right, let's give it a blast and see what our handiwork has achieved. So one of the things a customer complained of as well is having no top on this amp. All the treble was gone. We seem to have plenty now as the presence is full up. Channel's all good there. Let's try the foot switch. that style. I really don't play much metal and stuff like that nowadays. Very rusty. But yes, that forgot about that. Very crap guitar playing there. So that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. You all take care, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye bye for now.